coming from CNN Business, is raising their prices again. So yeah, it says here that all three of the company's price plans will increase by $1 to $2. Standard $11 plan, for example, will be increased to $13. Right.
If they go the two.
Yeah.
We talked about this about a year ago when they raised their prices, or a year and a half ago, was it, when they raised their prices to $11.99?
It was about last year, I think.
At some point last year,
I was very upset about it.
Yeah.
This makes me even more upset, especially when you read more of the business stuff and how they're taking $2 billion of debt right now, which is, again, so they're raising their prices to make the stockholders happy since they're taking on a large debt. I know a lot of people watch their original stuff and love their original stuff. Of the few things I've watched, I really dig. But it seems like they go off the deep end with acquiring things and making things, and then they're one-offs, and then or the season gets canceled, and then it's over, and it doesn't make sense financially to do that, and then to pass that debt on to your subscribers. That, I think that's kind of shitty. But we knew this was going to happen. We talked about a year and a half ago that these prices are just going to keep going up because of all the original content that they're putting money into and producing.
I feel like, I think Rick and I are going to have the same opinion. It's going to differ from yours. I mean, at least that's my take on it. I'm not really that mad about it because I am someone that watches a lot of their original content. I didn't read this article, so I don't know about all that stuff, but they are so consistently churning out new content that I actually I said the other day, I'm like, man, Netflix might be if you wouldn't even want to call it this, Netflix might be my favorite TV network now. You know what I mean? I realize I'm so excited about a lot of the new shows that they put out that I would be lying to myself if I said something. I always get so excited when there's some new show and I'm interested in it and it ends up being good. Now, to what you said, for the most part, they really haven't started, they really hadn't been canceling things until recently, the last few months. And so for the most part, you were getting second seasons of a lot of their stuff. Now, there's a lot of stuff, too, that I know doesn't end up even touching my radar that I know comes out also. And so I'm just I guess, for me, I'm not that mad about it because I almost don't even use Netflix anymore to watch movies that I haven't seen. Because if I'm being honest, for the most part, they don't seem to get a lot of them anymore, or they get them too late, and I find other ways to watch them. So for me, Netflix has almost become a TV channel for me, and they are so consistently churning out content that I'm just this is insane. They legit probably could start could do it almost like WWE Network style and run a schedule of original programming, not even just oh, let's play Avengers right now.
Then they'd have to charge more money though, because a live streaming thing would, but
I'm not telling them to do it.
No, I know, but I understand what you're saying.
Right. I'm not telling them to do that.
They could.
Right. So for me, I'm not going to really bitch about it because Netflix has evolved into something else entirely from when we first started.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like Bryce said, I'm probably more on his side because I thought I would be angry too about the price hike, but I've been happy with what they've been putting out, and I've been enjoying the content, and I'm glad they have old shows that I do like too that I can go back to and not have to worry about commercials with Hulu. Yeah, I could pay for the no commercials on Hulu, but I don't want to pay more money. But for the most part, I liked most of. I don't say all, but I like a few of their original stuff. If I don't may not necessarily love it, but they've been putting out.
But give an example. I can't think of anything of Netflix that you and I at least have both watched that you've left being oh well, that sucked.
Oh, that sucked?
Well, I mean, everything that you and I at least watched, you've been oh man, that was really fucking good. So it must have been stuff that you have watched on your own that you've been let down on. Because you love Stranger Things.
Yeah, I love Stranger Things. Atypical.
You loved Atypical. What was the show that we're mad about? Everything Sucks.
Everything Sucks.
You loved Everything Sucks.
I just been more kind of pissed about how they're canceling good shows, Lewis said Daredevil.
But what Cheesy just said, and he has a point. You have to remember they had to cancel some shows because of the Disney and MCU combination, and Disney starting up.
Okay, and so that affects me too. Now I can't go back and watch Sons of Anarchy again on Netflix because it's gone.
Oh, it's gone.
Yes, because of
Is
the
it
Disney...
Mines on there?
No, it's not, and it never will be because of the Disney Fox merger.
Oh fuck, that's right. Yeah. Well, it's still in the process, but yeah.
And I don't think I don't think that
Oh, you watched Atypical.
those
Great.
things will ever end up on a Disney streaming, even if Disney owns them. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like we recently saw like yesterday we saw an original that we'll
Yeah.
get to later. But spoiler alert, you know, like I thought they're putting out good content. That was good.
Yeah, and so
I'm
far,
like, well, yeah, like I guess my issue mostly is like it sucks that they are canceling some of like the shows that I do like that are Marvel based, but at the same time they also cancel things that they've put out, like you said.
yeah,
With everything sucks.
Yeah.
I'm not really gonna bat an eye. I guess someone might said that as far as the price hike, but I think once it gets past to like that $15 mark, that's where I'm gonna be
that's
like,
where it's going.
if I'm not making enough,
It already is.
Yeah, for some people.
Yeah.
like if
The
I'm not gonna
4K
be
one is $14.99, right?
Let's
yeah,
see.
I think the 4K one's
Its $8 plan will go up to $9, and its $14 plan will go up to $16.
Yeah.
What is
I'm
the $8
still-
plan?
I don't know.
We're on the $12 plan.
Yeah.
I'm not
$11.99.
sure. I know the plans are differently based off of like because now they have it to with how many devices could be connected at once.
Okay.
So I think
'Cause, like,
that's how they divvy it up.
I'm and I'm not saying we need to go back to the $7.99 thing. Like I totally understand that inflation happens.
Pretty much.
Again, debt happens and bandwidth costs money. Like I totally get that, and I'm fine with that. When we got to $9.99, I was like, okay, that's good. Now we're at $10.99 is what we're at right now. And again, I still feel like it's kind of a steal at $10.99, but every 9, 10, whatever 14 months, I think they're just trying to see how far they can go before there's a backlash.
I think it might.
And I understand they have to spend money to make money. And
Right.
we have to incur that cost because we're using the service. I get that.
But-
I'm not delusional.
But after this price hike, I mean, if they put out even great, fantastic content, it's going to be worth the money that you put into it.
And that's what I'm saying. And I didn't mean to call you out, but I was kind of calling you out because I'm like, well, what show have you watched on Netflix where you've been like, oh, it's not that good? And plus, there's so many shows that I feel like you started and haven't finished that I know because I know you that I know you'd like. Like you started.
End of the fucking world. I still want to finish that.
You need to
and
finish
I
that.
like
You've started Dark and you haven't finished
I
Dark.
haven't finished Dark
I
either.
know you'd love The Innocents. I
So,
know you'd love Hill House.
Some of these
so many
things
shows.
are smaller properties and they don't have like necessarily huge big names in them. But then there's like the stuff that I know costs money. That shitty Adam Sandler Chris Rock movie. I know that costs money, and that movie's fucking terrible.
I could live without any of that stuff.
Like, and I like Adam Sandler stuff. I like his old
I do
stuff.
too.
But the stuff that's been done recently, I don't like. And this is like the third, that Chris Rock thing, I think was like the third movie that's originated on Netflix. And it's like, I know that costs money. And now again, it's like when a video game that you like or we love has single player mode and then the sequel comes out and they're like, we're putting multiplayer. And it's like, don't put multiplayer in it just for the sake of having that on the back of the box unless you can make it work.
Yeah.
Luckily, with a game like Uncharted or The Last of Us, they made the multiplayer work and they had a separate team do it, so it didn't take away, quote unquote, from the development of the single player. But having to allocate that budget for something just to have that thing on the back of the box fucking sucks. And then to pass that, to pass that on to me when I'm not gonna fucking watch that, it sucks. And I understand I'm in the minority.
You probably are.
I completely get that. I'm not saying that this is wrong and they shouldn't do this and they're fucking us. I get that. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
But it's starting to get to a point where it's almost not worth it for me anymore. For me.
For you, I understand
me.
that because Mike is a guy. You don't watch much TV anymore.
No, I don't.
I
really don't.
Rick and I still consume a lot of TV. I probably consume even more than Rick now just because Rick, again, has a habit of starting and not finishing stuff. I just want to say, because Louis Crab just said this, thank you. I mean, I don't have to know, but Hill House is the absolute shit. It's so good. I've been telling these guys to watch it, and they haven't watched it yet.
And he's from the UK. He says it's $7.99 over there, pound-wise.
Well,
so I think that's roughly about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I have no idea. I'd have to look into that. But, yeah, man, it's just... I don't even want to sit here because you just said if it got above a certain point, I might have to start scratching my head. But so far, if they keep putting out content the way that they do, I don't think I can. I'm not going to sit here and put a price tag on it because if they keep doing it, how could I do that?
Yeah.
And then to what Mike just, not to what Mike just said, but I mean, it was, hold on, don't scroll. So yeah, like specifically what Mike was referring to in the article, Netflix has been spending billions on new content, at least $8 billion last year. Last year.
Yeah,
that's insane.
And then again, in that article, they talk about how they're assuming $2 billion of new debt.
Right, and
not like
and I understand
spending $2 billion more. They're assuming $2 billion of debt.
Yeah, the streaming service also announced in October that it planned to take on $2 billion in new debt. I understand that that's a choice.
Yes,
but I do think most people eat up a lot of the content that Netflix puts out, so they probably think like, look how much we're putting into our product. Yeah. It's the same thing when we have the discussion like, can video games still be $60? And it's like, with how much money are being put into these big fucking games, I feel like Netflix can't sit here and be like, we're giving people so much stuff. I think there was some article talking about like how many shows were coming out on Netflix, original content in January alone. And I don't remember what it was, but
I said it the last time they hiked the price that when they get to that $14.99, that's my tap out. Like, I'll stay there at $14.99. But higher than that, that's my tap out. I don't have a 4K TV, so I don't use that. We don't do the more expensive one for multiple devices. It's even gotten to the point now where my kids were the ones that were using Netflix the most. And that was kind of the reason why I was keeping it, because they would use it for legacy content. They've gotten to the point now where anything they consume, they just watch on YouTube. So it would make more sense for me to get YouTube Premium and cancel Netflix.
Yeah, and then it brings...
And again, that's for me. I'm not projecting on everybody out there. And like, I'm not going to pass off my situation as the majority and what needs to be done. For me, it's getting to a point where it makes more sense now that you know what, maybe I'll just get YouTube Premium.
Yeah, and that brings up an interesting discussion in and of itself, because, you know, like I have DirecTV. Kind of. Right. I mean, I kind of like, I have a sling box, so I steal it off my parents, so I steal it. But
you're using it for the intent,
right? Yeah, it's still being paid for, but I just mean like I don't have my own thing. But I mean, I use DirecTV, and when I really think about it, like, I mean, I use DirecTV for the DVR because it's there. But I know that if it came down to it, are we gonna do the next one? Yeah, blue one. Wait, that was blue. No, that was green. Okay. I use it for the DVR, but I know that if I canceled DirecTV, I could easily watch that stuff elsewhere, whether it's Hulu, whether it's just however else. You know, a lot of this stuff. Now, granted, a lot of this is because I have a DirecTV account, but a lot of these networks. Okay. Yeah.
Well, let's finish this.
Yeah. So a lot of these networks, let you watch on their website and whatnot. Was that just... Oh, you got a thing. I was like, wait a minute. You just fucking muscle that thing.
Yeah, I did.
I was like, wait a minute. But you have to subscribe to some TV, like Comcast, DirecTV, or whatever, to do that. But there's ways around that. You know, you could, like, have an HBO or whatever.
Right.
I guess the point that I'm...
Now?
Right. Something like that. It's not Go, because Go is what you have. Or maybe you can pay for Go, too. Because HBO Go is, like, what you use when you already have it.
Right.
But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is I feel like the only reason why I still hang on to something like DirecTV is for sports, and for wrestling.
Right.
Even though I know if it came down to it, I could figure it out. So that being said, if I'm being honest with myself, I realize I watch a lot of my original content on Netflix now. I mean, how do you use Netflix? Do you feel like you probably watch more of their original content than you do like, I'm gonna watch this old show? I'm not saying you don't ever do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Most of the stuff that I watch is their original content.
Yeah.
Which includes the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
And The Office.
Okay. But
original content and then The Office. That's pretty much it.
But it's interesting though, right? So if all of a sudden Netflix almost becomes one of your primary, if not your primary source of entertainment.
I would get rid of Hulu first before I'd get rid of Netflix.
And then if you don't have a TV subscription, then suddenly like I'm paying $25 a month to watch the majority of my original content, like, and everything else I'm just doing it. Yeah. I don't know.
Because if it's not Netflix, then it's YouTube.
Yeah. Right, there you go.